This is my technology integration project. The first technology that I'm incorporating in my lesson is YouTube. YouTube is an online video streaming website that allows users to upload or watch videos on command. YouTube has the ability to be accessed from a PC, laptop, or smartphone. YouTube allows a person to like videos, subscribe to users, as well as create channels to categorize videos to save and upload. Prezi is an online collaborative presentation tool. Prezi has the capability to be created on a PC or tablet through the website or an app. Prezi shares the same qualities as Microsoft PowerPoint, except with more features that are appealing. Prezi allows you to create an interactive presentation with unique themes. The third technology that I'll be using today is Kahoot. Kahoot is a game-based classroom responsive system. Through the creation of teacher-led quizzes, educational content is enriched by asking questions in a game-like environment. Students can use their mobile device, personal computer, or tablet. For this lesson, a constructivism theory is incorporated because students' knowledge is constructed based off of personal experience to access the technology. Each person has a different interpretation and construction of knowledge. Students are not a blank slate, but bring past experiences and cultural factors to a situation. Basically, I can identify what works for students and differentiate instructional activities to meet the needs of my students. This also benefits special populated students such as ESL, which allows them to demonstrate their knowledge through pictures and other activities that work best for them. Today, the instructional objectives, or the what I need my students to know, will be to demonstrate appropriate use of digital photography and editing, to use digital photography equipment to capture still shot images that incorporate various photo composition techniques, including lighting, perspective, candid versus posed, rule of thirds, and filling the frame. The performance objectives that my students will be doing today, which is how they'll be performing, will be the students will label terminology to categorize camera angles and shots. The student will record examples of camera shots and angles and present examples with presentation software. Today I will be addressing 8th grade students in a digital design class that is eligible for high school credit upon successful completion, and the duration of this lesson is 80 minutes. Students begin the day's lesson by coming in and watching an introduction video of camera shots and camera angles utilizing YouTube. Once students have watched the video, the class has a discussion. This is where the instructional objectives will be introduced as well as the activities for the day. The next activity, students will be identifying camera angles and camera shots. They will be given a list of descriptions as well as an image that they will have to match. Once students are done, they will collectively as a class go over the terms to make sure all students understand the terminology. The next activity, students will be grouped into 2 to 3 students, and each group will get a camera. The groups will create their own examples of camera angles and camera shots by taking pictures on campus. Students will then import the images on the computer and upload them into the presentation program called Prezi. Prezi will allow students to create an interactive presentation identifying the terminology that they've learned in class that day. Prezi will allow them to select their own template as well as add text, images, and audio. At the end of class, students will log in individually onto Kahoot, which will allow the teacher to assess if the students have mastered the objectives for the day. Kahoot will show questions on screen and students will individually answer on their device. Once everybody has selected an answer, Kahoot shows which answers people chose. This gives the opportunity for the teacher to discuss with students the answers and receive feedback from students as to why they chose those answers. At the end of the session, students are given a survey as to ask, did you learn something? It allows them to individually tell the teacher how they felt about the material. This is a bonus for them because this is just another way to assess students' understanding. The instructional design model that I chose is the Dick and Carey model. The Dick and Carey model addresses instruction as an entire system, which focuses on the relationship between context, content, learning, and instruction. All key components like the instructor, learners, the materials used, activities, delivery, and learning and performance environment all interact with each other and work together to reach the desired student objectives. This model is used in designing this lesson plan because the teacher identifies what they want to accomplish when planning. With that being said, the teacher must analyze the learners and what will work best for them. At several points in the activities, the teacher is checking for understanding. The components of the Dick and Carey model is the first thing is identifying instructional goals. This is done when the teacher addresses the content objective, which is during the discussion after the YouTube video. And the discussion leads into the assignment for today's activities. The second component of the Dick and Carey model is to conduct instructional analysis, this is when students recall how to work with the camera, they gain attention by asking if they noticed this in the movie or if they've seen this in past movies. So this is done also during the discussion portion. The third component is analyze learners in context. This is building background knowledge from the opening video to know how the students learn and what activities assist them. So this is the component of knowing who your students are. The fourth component is to write performance objectives. This is done during the discussion part after the YouTube video when you identify with your students what they're going to learn for the day and you tell them the activities they'll be doing so they have full understanding of what is actually going to be taking place in class. The fifth component is develop assessment and instruments. So throughout the entire lesson, each activity, the teacher is analyzing and assessing students informally. At the very beginning, they're discussing and trying to understand, and the teacher wants to connect students with what they're going to be learning. In the second activity, students are actually categorizing which definition goes with a picture, as well as identifying if it's a camera shot or camera angle. In the third activity, students are taking their own pictures and creating their own examples. And then in the last activity, there's a formal assessment where the teacher goes over each type of camera angle and shot with Kahoot and assesses what students learned for the day. The sixth component is develop instructional strategy. So this is the actual lesson cycle that was created. The introduction with the video, then students are identifying the definitions with the picture, and then students are creating their own examples, and then there's a formal assessment. So it creates a full round circle of introduction all the way to making sure they understood it. The seventh component is to develop and select instructional materials. This is done during the planning section. So this is choosing which technologies work best. The eighth component is to design and conduct formative evaluation of instruction. So this is after the lesson has been done with Kahoot, when the teacher receives that feedback, because students can actually give feedback if it was helpful, if it was beneficial for the day. They can just give you an informal assessment of how they feel about the material without the entire class knowing. The ninth component is to revise instruction. So after the lesson, when students give feedback through Kahoot, the teacher can analyze how the day's lesson went and reevaluate if any materials need to be covered again. The 10th component is to design and conduct a summative evaluation, and this is done in Kahoot after the lesson is done and the students have given feedback in regards to their feelings for the day's lessons. In closing, I used YouTube, Prezi, and Kahoot for my technology integration. I identified with the Dick and Carey model and the constructivism theories.